Mr. Gladden, you may proceed when ready. Share with me.
Thanks, Judge. Good afternoon, Mr. Allen. How are you doing today?
Good.
Just so the record is clear, you and I met for the first time about 30 seconds ago. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Shook my hand, introduced myself to you, and explained to you why we're having this hearing outside the presence of the jury.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you testify?
I'm sorry, hang on one
Yes,
second.
Judge.
Sir, can you state and spell your name for the record, please?
Vidal.
What about your last name?
Allen, Allen.
Very good. Thank you very much.
And Judge, one housekeeping matter. The defendant's common law wife is in the room. We asked that the rule be invoked toward her with these hearings. Can she be removed from the court?
Very good. I'm not sure who she is. Would you all take care of that for me?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brissett. Thank you, Mr. Gladden.
I do apologize, Judge. We were just trying to protect the defendant's rights.
I appreciate that. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Now, Mr. Allen, did you testify before Dallas County grand jury about this case?
Yes, sir.
And have you had a chance to review your testimony before the Dallas County grand jury?
No, sir.
Were you given a copy of it to read?
Oh, yes, sir.
You were?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And did you read through it?
Yes, sir.
Now, everything that you testified to in front of the Dallas County grand jury, how do you know what you were telling them?
I witnessed it with my own eyes.
With your own two eyes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever talked to anybody who's told you what happened that night?
No, sir.
Are you aware, let me rephrase that, Judge. Do you know if the defendant, Mr. Oliver, ever gave a written statement to the Balch Springs Police Department?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Do you know if he gave a written statement to the Balch Springs Police Department?
No, sir.
So naturally, you wouldn't know what was in that statement if it existed.
No, sir.
And you've never talked to anyone who's seen that statement.
No, sir.
Do you know who a Lieutenant Merrick is?
Mr. Lee Merritt?
No. Lieutenant Mike Merritt with the Balch Springs, Mark Merritt with the Balch Springs Police Department.
No, sir.
You don't know who that is? Do you know a Lieutenant Hurley?
No, sir.
Do you know who Chief Haber is?
No, sir.
You're about to testify in front of this jury. All the testimony you're going to give to this jury, how do you know what you're about to say?
Because I witnessed it. Everything happened in my own eyes.
And that's
I lived it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I lived it.
You lived it.
Yes, sir.
And the fact that you lived it and saw it with your own eyes is the only way you know what you're about to tell this jury.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. I pass the witness, Judge.
Mr. Giller, you may proceed.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Allen.
Good afternoon.
You mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yes, sir.
You know this gentleman down here at the end of the table, you know him to be Mr. Snipes, right?
Yes, sir.
And before you testified in front of the grand jury, you met with Mr. Snipes 5 or 6 times, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember the date you testified in front of the grand jury?
No, sir. I do not remember.
If I said it was July the 17th of 2017, does that sound about right?
I don't know, sir.
Judge State will stipulate that was the date.
All right.
And do you know where Mr. Snipes got his information about the case?
No, sir.
With Mr. Snipes, when you talked, did Mr. Snipes give you some information?
No, sir. I gave him all my information.
Did you and before you testified at the grand jury, did you go out with Mr. Snipes out to where this all happened?
Yes, sir.
And did Mr. Snipes show you some body cam video?
Judge, I'm going to object to the relevance about body cam video. That's not a Gary statement. No one's ever asserted that it's a Gary statement.
The objection is overruled.
Can you repeat that question?
Did Mr. Snipes show you what he represented to you to be some body cam video?
We looked at body cam footage after, close to the trial.
When would that have been?
Sir?
When was that?
I say when my father was present with us and we were all sitting down talking.
Do you remember Mr. Snipes asking you a question at the grand jury about watching body cams? He asked you, "You've watched these body cams, right?" Remember that question?
No, sir.
Do you remember your answer being, "Yes, sir"?
Can you repeat the question?
Can I just show you the testimony?
Yeah.
You said you had a copy of it earlier today.
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind, just take us a second. Is that familiar?
Yes, sir.
And that page is your name,
Mm-hmm.
direct examination by Mr. Snipes. And on the page, Mr. Snipes asked you, "You and I have gotten together 5 or 6 times now, right?" And your answer was,
I said yes, sir.
and next question was, "I've taken you back out to the scene, right?" And your answer was,
Yes, sir. But this is 16 months ago, sir.
okay. And then the next question was, "You've watched these body cams, right?" And then your answer was, "Yes, sir." Is that correct?
Yes. I've watched the body cams many times.
Okay. Watch the body cams many times.
I can't die here.
We pass the witness.
Nothing further, Judge.
Very good. Mr. Gill, Mr. Gladden made the representation that none of the information that's supposedly or purportedly to be Garrity information is contained on these body cams. Are you making that assertion today with this witness?
No, I just asked him if he saw the body.
I understand. There may be more body cams that I don't know about. I just want to make sure. And I
There
do.
may be more that we don't know about too, Judge, but that's another matter.
All right. Take a deep breath. This is what we're going to do. I do find that the witness, and I'm going to instruct you, Mr. Allen, if you could, only testify about things that you saw or heard with your own eyes, and you'll be just fine, all right?
Yes, sir.
As long as you testify truthfully, I do appreciate that. Is there any reason why we can't bring in the jurors?
None that I know of, Judge.
Mr. Gill?
We're ready.
All right, thank you very much. Let's call the jury. Thank you, Sheriff. You all may be seated. And sir, as you make your way down, if you could please raise your right hand. It's all right. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to this jury will be the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down, be responding to questions from Mr. Snipes, perhaps either Mr. Gill or Mr. Brissett to your left. You may proceed when ready.
Now, please state your full name for the record, spell both names.
Vidal Allen, Vidal, Allen.
And where are you going this weekend?
To college,
What's the name of that college?
the University of Colorado Springs.
And is that why we're starting this trial on Thursday, as opposed to usually starting on Monday?
Yes, sir.
And have you and I talked many, many times?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have I told you what famous American Academy is up there where you're going?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
The Air Force. I think that's the Air Force Academy. Yes, sir.
Yes. And do you know Jordan Edwards?
Yes, sir.
And what is your relationship to him?
Your baby brother.
And y'all are actually stepbrothers.
Yes, sir.
I believe that you've told me that you're very, very close. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury about that.
My baby brother. That was my baby brother. We did everything together. We were all competitive. We all grew up in sports together. It's just like we had a close connection and bond. Like nobody could break us apart. One fight, we all fight in an instant. I would say because we always had each other back, no matter what. But yes, sir.
Were y'all hoping to play football together?
Yes, sir. For the varsity together.
What was the name of your football team? The nickname from
Mesquite High School, the Skeeters.
Cedars?
Yes, sir.
What was Jordan's football number?
11.
11?
Yes, sir.
What was your number?
I wore 11 this year.
For him?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, April 29, 2017, you went
Yes, sir.
And who gave you the idea to go to that party?
Jordan.
Okay. How did he find out about it?
From like gossip around the school and I guess social media.
Like Snapchat, Instagram, and stuff I don't know how to do, that kind of thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you also discuss going to that party with your other stepbrother, Kevon Evans?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you and Kevon weren't even going to go.
No, sir.
But who convinced you to go?
Jordan.
You all excited about it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, he's your best friend, and you decide to say, okay, we'll go ask Dad, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell ladies and gentlemen of the jury how that went down.
Everybody was, my brothers are scared of no, so me, I was just like, all you're gonna get is a no or yes, so I just asked them myself.
And what did your dad tell you?
He told us yes, we can go, but we had a curfew.
Yeah. Did he give you the usual instructions, don't do this, don't do that
Yes.
night before you went?
Yes, sir.
Like he always does?
Yes, sir.
What were those?
No drinking, no doing any drugs.
Okay. You didn't do any of that night, did you?
No, sir.
Did you go over there to that house to try and cause you trouble or anything?
No, sir.
So you got permission to go, April 29th, Saturday night. And so who all went with you?
It was me, Kevon, Jordan, and the Everett twins, Maxwell and Maximus.
Okay. Y'all real good friends with those two, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
The five of y'all kind of hang all the time.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay. So what were you driving?
I was driving a 2004 Black Impala.
That's your dad's car?
Yes, sir.
Okay. He let you drive it?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't the first time you did it, was it?
No, sir.
And you and your dad are real close too, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And he's not even your biological father, is he?
No, sir.
But you think of it that way, don't you?
Yes, sir.
All that way, your whole family, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, about what time did y'all leave to go to that party?
I would say about, I think the party started at 9, if I'm correct. The party started at 9, and we left around like 9:30.
And that's a black Chevrolet Impala, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who's sitting where in the car?
I'm the driver, Jordan's the passenger. I believe Maximus is right behind me, and then Kevon's in the middle, and then I think Maxwell is on the end on the right.
Okay. Could you be confused about where Maxwell and Maximus were?
Yes, sir. They look just like.
Okay. They look exactly alike, don't
Yes, sir.
they? You even have the same haircut.
They did until they
They
cut
did,
it.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So, did you go and pick them up?
Yes, sir.
All right. Their house?
Yes, sir.
And did y'all stop off and get some snacks on the way?
Yes, sir. Before we headed to the party, Jordan got he got some hot chips. He got some hot chips and he got a fuse strawberry lemonade.
You didn't get beer or anything like that, did you?
No, sir.
Following strictly the instructions of your father.
Yes, sir.
Now, was there, anecdotally, I guess, if I don't know what that means, but was there a decision where y'all decided to go back and get another snack to improve your breath?
Yes, sir. For my brother Jordan, because his girlfriend was there, so he didn't want to. So.
Okay. So Jordan was hoping to see his girlfriend.
Yes, sir.
You want to go over there with hot snacks, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, you get to the party. Where'd you park your car?
I parked by the stop sign on the left side on Barron.
Okay. And so, you and I talked about that.
Yes, sir.
And so you were facing towards the house where the party was, right?
Yes, sir.
Why did you park closer to the house?
Because it was packed, it was cars on both sides, like it was all the way down the street.
All five of you guys get out of the car at the same time?
Yes, sir.
Could you hear the music down the street?
No.
But from the cars, you probably knew there was going to be a good time down there.
Yes, sir.
So the five of you go to this party, and it's Denars Rhodes' house, but did you know that?
No, sir.
And so, tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, kind of the scene, what the party was like when you first came in.
There was people from 4 schools. There was West Mesquite, Poteet, Horn, and my school. And we were all just, nobody was arguing. Everybody was just having a good time, just basically having like a good get-together. And everybody was all joyful and happy.
Playing rap music,
Yes, sir.
dancing,
Yes, sir.
no problems whatsoever, right?
No, sir.
Now, tell me about this good cover charge that you had to pay.
Oh, it was $2 for guys and $1 for girls.
Okay? Did you get anything in exchange for that?
No, sir.
Did you wonder about who got that money?
No, sir.
You didn't care?
Mm-mm.
All right. So you're having fun, you're there with your buddies. Who are you hanging out with at the party?
I was with Quincy and my older brother Kevon.
Okay. Quincy White?
Yes, sir.
And let's be clear about this. You kind of grown up with a lot of these kids, right?
Yes, sir.
Quincy White, Jordan Patterson, Alejandre Henderson, right?
Yes, sir.
You know them all?
Alondre. Yes, sir.
Okay. All y'all were friends. And none of these guys were in trouble, right?
No, sir.
Okay. So where did you go in the house?
When I got in, I went to the back because it was very crowded. Like, it was really, really crowded. So we went to the back,
Who's we?
me and Kevon.
You and Kevon?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was Quincy with you too?
He had later came out there.
What were y'all doing out there?
We were just sitting out there, just enjoying it, just having a good time. Cause it was, yes, sir.
About 11 o'clock, 11:06 to be exact, did you hear some sirens?
No, sir. I didn't hear sirens until I was telling my brother that if anything goes wrong, I was going to show him where we needed to exit at. But by that time, I seen a police car, and I seen flashing lights. So that's when everybody was like, the police, and everybody just started clearing out.
Did that include you?
Yes, sir.
And I think that you told me you went jumping over the fences in the backyard, correct?
Yeah. Quincy and Kevon.
You, Quincy, and Kevon,
Yes, sir.
you three were together.
Yes, sir.
And then just tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how you got to the backyard over where your Impala was parked.
Okay, so the street is facing this way, and we're at the house. And me, Quincy, and Kevon jumped about 3 fences, and the car was right here by the stop sign. And we just came and got to the car.
So the police had come, you guys wanted to get over there.
Yes, sir.
No trouble.
No, sir.
Okay. Who all gets into the Chevrolet Impala?
Me, Jordan, and Kevon, and then the twins.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Were there some other kids trying to get in there for a while and get a ride?
Yes, sir, but I told them they couldn't ride.
Who was that?
I believe it was Quincy, I believe Alondre.
This right here is Barron Drive, right?
Yes, sir.
This right here is your brother, right? And you grew up around here, you've been over here before, right? Just
keep your voice down?
Yeah, she wants you to keep your voice up.
I was parked by the stop sign on the left-hand side, right here,
Facing down.
facing this way, sir.
For the record, what exhibit number is that tonight? It's a blow up of.
6.
Thank you.
Why is that?
Because the police cars were blocking the way to move through that way.
And so what did you decide to do as a result of that?
I put the car in reverse and I backed up.
Were you driving slowly?
Yes, sir.
Fast? What?
Really slow
Why were you doing that?
because it was very dark and I can't well at night.
And what was the intent as to where you were going to go by backing out on Barron?
I was going to I'll repeat that one more time.
What were you intending to do when you were backing out on Barron?
I was just going to back up and then I was going to go straight on Shepherd. I was going to go this way and then I was just going to go on Shepherd.
Is there coming a time?
Sir.
Did you? About
I just wanted to get home.
your own?
The rear? No, sir.
Okay. You don't remember anything about the window being broken or anything?
No, sir. I didn't know the window was broken at the time.
Okay. You know that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're starting to drive down to the south, and then the gunshots ring out.
Yes, sir.
Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Snipes wants to testify, maybe he can get up to the witness
Hold
stand.
on. We don't need a sign. Objection.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the objection is sustained. Please.
What happened next?
After,
As you're starting to drive off.
as I started to drive off, 5 gunshots shot into my car, and that's when everybody's all upset and scared and screaming in the car, and then that's when I make a right, and I sit down, and then I check on everybody, make sure everybody, but Jordan wasn't responding. I kept his head up it for bullet holes because I seen a whole bunch of blood, but I didn't know where it was coming from. And then I immediately called my dad.
When you go off, did you, at any time, try to hit either one of the police officers that were out there?
No, sir.
What did you say to that?
I steered off to the left. It's like I was in the other lane, and I was nowhere close to them
Why would you want to do that, steer off to the left?
because there was a flashlight, and it was blinding my sight. It was a very, very bright flashlight, and you couldn't tell like who had the flashlight.
Right turn on Bishop.
Yes, sir.
All right, tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about that.
When I finally made a right turn on Bishop, where everybody was still screaming and stuff, and then that's when you see a police car pass by us, like going like 50 miles an hour, and they didn't help us. So I turned the car, did a 3-point turn. I turned the car around and take my little brother to the hospital because we thought nobody was coming to help us. And by the time we were finna take off, that's when the police had pulled up right behind us, and we just stopped the car.
Did you guys do anything to ask the police to help you then?
We were pleading for them to please help my brother because one of the had just shot my brother, and I asked them 3 times if they please help my brother.
When those shots were fired at your car, were you in fear for your life?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you get down, you're on Bishop. What are you yelling at that police officer down there?
Please help my brother. He's bleeding out. Please, my brother's dying. Please, somebody help.
Were you eventually asked to come out of the car?
Yes, sir. I was taught to put my hands out the window.
And were you eventually asked to actually get out of the car?
Yes, sir.
All right, tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about that.
They told me to get out of the car, and I didn't even have any shoes. It was raining, and then when I got out the car, you see red dots from guns pointed on my body, and then they made me walk backwards, and then that's when they made me came, and they put me in handcuffs and they put me in a car.
Were you scared when you were walking?
Yes, sir.
Did you say anything to the officers about why you were scared?
No, sir.
Do you remember saying anything at all to them about police, something or other?
Sir.
Okay. And then you were put on your knees, is that what?
Yes, sir.
What were you thinking?
I was scared for my life. I was gonna die
Why would you think that?
because they had just shot my brother, and I thought they were gonna do the same thing to me.
Did you think your brother was dead?
No, sir.
What did you think?
I thought he was still alive, but nobody came to help. It felt like 30 minutes went by, but nobody helped them.
Were you eventually put in handcuffs?
Yes, sir.
And then what happened after you put in handcuffs?
They put me in the back of the police car. And then I remember I asked the officer who car it was to pray with me.
Did he pray with you?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember that prayer?
I don't remember in my head.
Do you remember kind of what it was?
I remember asking him to pray with me. I just prayed that my would be okay, and I asked God to take care of him.
That officer did pray with you, right?
Yes, sir.
Pass with you.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Allen.
Afternoon.
My name is Vidal. May I ask you a few questions also?
Yes, sir.
Not long after these events happened, you just testified to, you sat down in an interview room with some police officers, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you answered those police officers' questions for them, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And of course, you wanted to be as truthful with them as you could possibly be, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Just like you're doing here today, right?
Yes, sir.
And that was basically the same morning, right?
Can you elaborate?
It was a few hours after these events, maybe 7 or 8 a.m. Is that right? So maybe 7 or 8 hours after all this happened?
When we were going through
When
the
you were at-
investigation,
when you were sitting down with the police officers answering their questions.
it was a little early. We got out of there around 7 or 8 o'clock.
Okay. All right. So if I were to say it was around 6 hours later after these events, would that be about right? You tell me.
We were in the car for like 3 hours. I was in the back of the police car for like 3 hours, so I don't know what time it was, sir.
Well, you remember when you had this interview with the police officers that your mom and dad were there,
Yes, sir.
okay? And there was a lawyer there also, is that right?
Yes, sir. Miss
Remember her
Jasmine.
name?
Miss Jasmine.
Ms. Jasmine. And their goal was to learn from you what had happened, and your goal was to help them and inform them about their observations were, is that right?
Yes, sir.
At that time, I think you met with Mr. Snipes over here from the DA's office.
Yes, sir.
About how many times?
5 to 6 times, sir.
And you've also testified in front of the Dallas County Grand Jury, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And before you testified in front of the Dallas County Grand Jury, and in fact, since then, you've seen some body cam video from that night, is that right?
Yes, sir, I have.
You had occasion to read over the testimony you gave at the grand jury, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did you at any time ever sit down for the officers and write out a statement?
I do not recall, sir. I know when we were at that building, I gave them a picture demonstration of everything, how it happened, and I drew it all out. That's what I do remember, sir.
While the police officers, the time, just a few hours afterwards, when the police officers were interviewing you, while you were being interviewed, you were sketching things out for them, try to explain to them how things happen. Is that right?
I drew everything out, yes, sir.
How old a man are you right now?
I'm 18 now, sir.
Okay. So back in April of 2017, when this happened, how old would you have been then?
16.
So you've had a couple of birthdays between now and then, right? You've gone from 16 to 18.
Yes, sir.
And you've gone from being a high school student to being a college student, right?
Yes, sir.
How long on April 29th of 2017, how long had you had your driver's license?
I'm not sure. I believe I had started driving the beginning of the school year. So I would say, yeah, I think that was my junior year when everything happened, I believe. Yes, sir. So I was driving since my junior year.
So if this was in April of 2017, you'd had your driver's license for 6 or 7 months, maybe? Does that sound about right?
I don't recall, sir. So, okay.
It hadn't been very long.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you're probably a more experienced driver than you were back then, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Were you the only one in the group of 5 in your vehicle that evening that had a driver's license?
Yes, sir.
So is that how you got chosen to drive?
No, sir. I was going to drive either way.
And you drove both to the party, and then you were driving as the car was leaving the party too. Is that right?
Until it was stopped, yes.
Was there a trip to the store after y'all had gotten to the party?
He already established that, sir. I'm sorry. But he said that we went to the store we went back to go get gum for Jordan.
Okay. So when you first arrived at the party, you parked in that spot by the stop sign.
Yes, sir.
And then when you got back from making the trip to the store, you were lucky enough to find that same parking spot, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was, we might call that the wrong side of the road you parked on, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You parked with
Stop sign. Yes, sir.
the driver's door of your car close to the curb.
Yes, sir. Near to the stop sign. Yes, sir.
Okay. Probably because that was the only spot that was available anywhere around there, right?
Yes, sir.
So when you went to leave on that evening,
Mm-hmm.
did you pull off from the stop sign where you were parked and pull forward before you realized that you couldn't get down that street any further?
I scooted over into the middle of the road. Yes, sir.
Or someplace where you could get a good look and see what the prospects were.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was it before?
Excuse me. Can you elaborate what you mean by prospects?
Well, I mean, whether or not you're able to get down the street.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, sir. I will get down the street.
But you pulled out a little bit to have a look.
Yeah.
You could make it or not.
Yes, sir. But the truck was right there, and there wasn't no getting past the truck.
When you say you talk about the police officer's truck,
Yes, sir. The police officer truck
and their lights were flashing.
in the middle of the road.
Was there more than one police officer?
I'm not sure. All I remember seen the truck, and I was like, okay, I can't go that way, so I just backed up.
You didn't have any shoes on?
Yes, sir, I didn't have any shoes on after the fact they stopped us.
Did you have shoes on at the time you were backing the vehicle up?
Yes, sir,
What happened to your shoes in between them?
because the style is you wear the type of shoes I wore them loose. And so when everything was happening, once we stopped, I got scared and my shoes came off because they were loose.
When you got stopped by the police?
Yes.
Down on Bishop?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But at the time you were backing up,
I had my shoes on, sir.
what kind of shoes did you have on?
I had some foam posits on.
Were they loose at the time you were backing up?
Yes, sir. And they were my feet.
Do you remember how many passengers your driver's license allowed you to have in the vehicle?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you think you were allowed to have 4 other passengers in the vehicle with you?
I know now that I wasn't allowed to. Yes, sir.
You didn't know that at the time?
No, sir.
And you made a point of telling the jury that before you left and went to the bars, Dad made sure he told you, no drugs?
No drugs and no
alcohol.
drinking. No,
And
sir.
you
Yes, sir.
guys didn't do any of that stuff, did you?
No, sir.
I think you said that you saw some of that there.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it was there, but you guys weren't involved in it.
No, sir.
Because you apparently, Dad and Mom always made a tell you guys that before you were going out, and that was a rule of the house.
Yes, sir.
Probably a rule of being able to out that car, take the car out, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
And you guys were, I think also, did Dad tell you to respect everybody that night also? Is that something he would have told you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you made sure you were going to do that too, right?
Yes, sir.
While you were backing up, do you know why people out there on the street would have been pointing to your vehicle?
No, sir.
Who was it that brought all the money into the vehicle?
That's my money, sir.
I'm sorry?
That was my money. Me and my brothers used to sell candy at school.
Okay, so was that money in the vehicle when you got there?
Yes, sir.
Is that money you kept there in the vehicle?
Yes, sir. And it wasn't nothing but $60, maybe like $60.
Now, on that 2004 Impala, that belonged to your dad, right?
Yes, sir. It did.
It had tinted windows?
Yes, sir. Black.
Which of the windows were tinted? Were they all tinted?
They were all not the front and the back, I believe, sir.
But all the windows on the sides of the vehicle were tinted?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Was it a light tint, a dark tint?
Yes, sir.
But the windshield that you looked out of
Yes, sir. It
was
wasn't.
untinted, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think you also mentioned in one of the interviews that the radio in that vehicle did not work.
The radio, yes, sir. I did. The radio did not work, so we had a speaker.
Where in the car was the speaker located?
The speaker was located right beside Jordan, underneath by his feet, sir.
And I think we've already established earlier that he was the right front passenger of the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Right next to you.
Yes, sir.
When you were at the party, you and Jordan, and I think you testified you were also there with a gentleman by the name of Quincy
Yes, sir.
and Kevon.
Yes, sir.
But was it you and Quincy and Kevon that were in the backyard area of the house?
Yes, sir. And there was a whole bunch of more people, sir.
Right. And then I think also that Jordan at some point had been inside the house.
Yes, sir. He was with his girlfriend, Beyonce.
Okay. So when the police came, what did you all do to leave the house?
We jumped the fence.
So you didn't go back through the house, you went around the backyard?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then back out to the corner where your car was parked?
Yes, sir.
Would that have been you, Quincy, and Kevon?
Yes, sir.
And other people left that way too, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
When the police came, was Jordan in the house?
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. But he met you back at the car?
Yes, sir.
So you and Jordan and Kevon met back at the car?
Yes, sir.
And then was it Maximus and Maxwell that were the last to arrive?
Yes, sir. But Maximus was the first one to get in, and Maxwell was the last one to get in.
Okay. Were all five of you in the vehicle at the time you heard the gunshots behind you?
Yes, sir. The windows were rolled up and the doors were shut. Yes, sir.
Was the car running at that time?
Yes, sir.
Had you moved the car at all?
When the gunshots were heard,
Yeah.
when the gunshots finally, we didn't move until we heard gunshots, sir.
That was my question. Thank you. And the gunshots came from behind you.
Yes, sir.
Did they come from across Shepherd?
They were behind me, so whatever was behind me, sir.
Somewhere behind you.
Yes, sir.
That's all you know at that point, right?
Yes, sir.
And that was a frightening experience, I think you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Was everybody in the car
Yes, sir.
frightened by that?
Yes, sir.
That's something your parents would definitely be upset about if they found out about something like that. Is that right?
Yes, shooting at a party, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Did you know of other shootings in that area?
No, sir.
Did that surprise you, that there were shootings?
Yes, sir.
Before that, the party, I think everyone that was there had said it had been a pretty orderly party to that point.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you said you saw a little bit of alcohol and maybe a little bit of marijuana.
I didn't say I seen marijuana. I smelled it, sir.
Okay, thank you. But for the most part, that was a relatively small amount of each of us, right?
Yes, sir. And I only seen one person with alcohol, sir.
So for the most part, it was a very orderly party until that point.
Yes, sir.
Did things get pretty chaotic at the time the gunshots happened?
Yes, sir. Everybody started screaming and everybody was going frantic.
Were people inside the car nervous and screaming?
Yes, sir.
And you said at that point is when you decided that car needed to leave.
Yes, sir.
And you pulled out a little bit and then realized you couldn't make it down Barron and started backing up.
Yes, sir.
Were you able to get a good view of what was going on behind you as you were backing up?
No, sir.
So go ahead.
I went to, the stop sign's right here. And so the road, as you know, the road, and then that's Shepherd. And I backed up right here, but I couldn't back up because there was a truck behind me. And so what I did, I put it in drive, and then I proceeded.
Did you backed right up onto Shepherd?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right? And I believe your testimony on direct examination was you did not hear anyone yelling at you to stop the car.
We didn't know who it was to say stop the effing car, sir. Police don't talk like that, sir.
Did you hear someone saying that?
Yes, but how are we supposed to know that it's the police, sir? Police don't, the profanity with the police, sir, they don't say that. Not, especially not to no kids, sir.
So is your testimony that you heard someone yelling, stop the car, but you didn't know it was a police officer?
Yes, sir.
Did you see a police officer
No.
while you were backing the vehicle up?
No, sir.
Did you ever see a police officer out at the corner of Barron and Shepherd?
I didn't know that was a police officer, sir. I seen a light. It was a light, so you couldn't see who was behind the light, sir. It was a really big light that you hold on a gun, like an AR-15, sir.
So you recognize an AR-15 when you see one?
I recognized the light, sir.
And where was that light shining?
It was shining directly in my face.
And so your testimony is you did not see a police officer, you just saw a light that was shining in your face.
Yes, sir.
But you heard someone saying, stop the car.
Correct.
And did you hear someone say, stop the effing car?
I heard stop the effing car. I didn't hear stop the car. I heard stop the effing car multiple times, but we did not know who it was, sir.
As you were backing up, was that voice getting closer to you or getting farther away?
Sir, it felt like everything happened in an instant. So as soon as we heard stop the effing car, I heard gunshots.
Okay. And all of this did happen very quickly, didn't it?
Yes, sir. I believe in like a second, sir.
Okay. Well, you snapped your fingers a second ago and said, in an instant, right?
Yes, sir.
You remember telling the police interviewers that interviewed you a few hours after this event occurred that you heard the voice saying, stop the effing car, and heard that voice getting closer to you?
Sir, I heard stop the effing car. Sir.
Did you tell the police officers when they interviewed you on April 30th of 2017 that you heard the voice saying stop the car? Did you heard it getting closer to you?
I told the police officer, sir, that I heard stop the effing car. That's what I told them.
So my question is, did you tell them that you heard that voice getting closer to you? Yes or no?
I do not recall, sir.
Do you remember telling those investigators that you saw a police officer out there, you saw one police officer, and he was a bald white guy?
No, I did not say it was a bald white guy, sir. I said that he had spiky hair, but I didn't know that that was a police officer, sir. I just thought that was somebody with spiky hair. And then when I later found out that it was a police officer, you put two to two together, sir.
You remember using the word officer that morning
To whom?
to the police investigators that were talking to you in the video recorded interview?
Yes, sir.
You called a white man with a shaved head an officer. Is that right?
No. I called the dude with the spiky hair. I said that it was a spiky haired dude, sir.
When did you say that?
I said that in the interview, sir. I remember it was either the interview or it was either the man that arrested me.
I'm talking about at the intersection of Aaron and Shepherd.
Yes, sir. I told them that he had spiky hair, sir.
Do you remember telling the investigators that morning that you only saw one officer?
No, sir. I remember telling them that I seen somebody with spiky hair, sir.
Do you remember telling them that when you saw that one officer, he's the one that fired the shots at you?
Can you repeat that one more time, sir?
You remember telling the investigators on April 30th of 2017 that you saw the one officer, he had a rifle, and he's the one that fired the shots at the car?
Once I put two and two together, yes, sir.
Did you tell the investigators that morning?
Yes, sir.
You remember telling the investigators that you heard a voice telling you to stop the car, but it was closer than that officer was that you identified as having the rifle?
Sir, I heard stop the effing car. I didn't hear stop the car, sir. I heard stop the effing car. And I did not say that I heard a voice closer than that one, sir.
You remember telling the officers that you were trying to put the car in park, but that you weren't able to?
I remember telling them before I could do anything, I was in fear of my life, and that's when the gunshots rang out.
Did you remember telling the officers that you were trying to put the car in park, but instead you hit the gas pedal?
Yes, sir, because I was in fear for my life.
You remember telling the officers that morning in that interview on April 30th of 2017 that the other guys in the car were yelling at you to put it in park?
No, sir, I do not recall that.
testified earlier that when you guys got in the car at the corner of Shepherd and Barron, when you were getting ready to leave, that all the windows were up in the vehicle. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir, they were.
You told the investigator that morning that after you heard those gunshots, that your ears were ringing.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. It was like everything was a blur.
And of course, your testimony here today is everything happened very quickly,
Yes, sir.
in an instant.
Yes, sir, as a blur. Yes, sir.
Were you able to see well out there that night in the dark?
To where I could get us home. Yes, sir.
You testified earlier that you weren't able to see well.
I said that I'm not able to see well at night, sir.
You passed the witness. Very briefly, Ron.
Go ahead.
Vidal, were there any weapons in y'all's car?
No, sir.
Did anybody shoot a weapon out of that car?
No, sir.
Anyone reaching for anything inside the car?
No, sir.
Did Jordan shoot a gun?
No, sir.
Did he know how to do that?
No, sir. He ain't never touched a gun, sir.
Good luck in college.
Thank you.
Pass witness.
Nothing further at this time.
May this witness be finally excused or subject to recall?
Subject to recall.
All right, we'll work on that. Sir, you may stand down. Be careful on your way down. And Mr. Snipes, call your next witness.
Judge is going to be Kevon Edwards, and so.
Yes, sir. Ms. Wood, the word is foamposite, F-O-A-M-P-O-S-I-T-E. They're Nike. Members of the jury, if you would please go with the sheriff and await further instructions. All rise for the jurors. For the sole purpose of determining the basis of this witness's knowledge for testimony in front of this jury, if there be any. Go ahead, Mr. Gladden.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Mr. Edwards.
Good afternoon.
I believe the judge has already spelled your name for the court reporter.
I swore him in as a witness, but why don't we do that?
Okay, could you please spell your full name for the court reporter?
K-E-V-O-N.
You're going to need to speak up in the...
Oh, K-E-V-O-N.
Thank you.
E-D-W-A-R-D-S.
Okay, and Mr. Edwards, I think you can pull that entire microphone closer to the way I'm pulling. Just make sure you talk
Okay.
right into the microphone.
All right.
I just have some very brief questions. Just so the record, you and I have never met, have we?
No, sir.
So right now.
Yes, sir.
It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Now, Mr. Edwards, did you testify before a Dallas County grand jury about the matters in this case?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, sir.
Have you been given a copy of your grand jury testimony to read?
Yes, sir.
Have you looked?
Yes, sir.
The testimony that you gave before the Dallas County grand jury and all the things that you told the Dallas County grand jury, how did you know those things?
Because I was there.
You were there?
Yes, sir.
Did you see everything?
Yes, sir.
Now, in addition to being there and seeing everything, have you talked to any of your friends about what you saw?
Sir.
Have your friends talked to you about what they saw?
No, sir.
Have you talked to the gentleman to my left, Colonel Snipes,
About
in this case?
the meetings we had. Yes, sir.
You've had meetings with him?
Yes, sir.
And at those meetings, have you told him what you saw?
Yes, sir.
And have you reviewed any videos from that evening?
Yes, sir.
And were those represented to you to be body-worn camera videos?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Have you been to the scene of the event with Mr. Snipes?
Yes, sir.
And did you tell him at that scene what happened that night?
Yes, sir.
And when you were talking to him about that, how did you know what you were telling him?
Because I was there.
You were there.
Yes, sir.
I need to ask you if you know or have ever talked to a few people. If you don't even recognize their names, that's fine. We need to know. Do you know a gentleman with the Balch Springs Police Department named Lieutenant Merritt?
No, sir.
Have you spoken to anyone named Lieutenant Do you know a Lieutenant Hurley?
No, sir.
Do you know Chief Haber?
No, sir.
Do you know if the defendant, Roy Oliver, has given a written statement to anyone with the Balch Springs Police Department?
No.
And so naturally, we don't know the contents of any such statement, if one even exists.
No, sir.
Has anyone talked to you about a statement that he may or may not have given?
No, sir.
And you're about to testify before a jury that's not currently in the room. And you're about to tell them the facts of this case. How do you know what you're going to tell that jury?
Because I was there.
You were there and you saw what?
Yes, sir.
Is there any other document or video that you've seen that makes you know what you know?
No, sir.
Test the witness, Judge.
Mr. Gill, you may
Your Honor.
proceed when ready.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Do you know the names of the two officers that were involved in the shooting out there that evening?
Yes, sir. Well, one, Roy Oliver.
Okay. What's the other one's name?
I don't know his name.
Have you been told his name?
Yes, sir.
You didn't know either of these individuals before all this happened, did you?
No, sir.
So somebody in law enforcement has told you who these people are, right?
Yes, sir.
And what else did they tell you?
Nothing.
Not a single other thing.
No, sir.
What day did you testify in front of the Dallas County Grand Jury?
Last year, and
If I said it was in July of 2017, does that sound about right?
yes, sir.
Before you testified in front of the Dallas County Grand Jury, how many times had you met with the people over here from the DA's office?
Probably like 3 times.
And how many times have you met with them since?
Probably like 7.
How many times have you met with them out at the corner of Barron and Shepherd?
3 times.
Were any of those, or how many of those were before you testified in front of the grand jury?
Can you repeat that?
How many times did you meet with them at the corner of Barron and Shepherd before you testified in front of the grand jury?
Once.
And how many times between the grand jury and today?
Once.
Nothing further.
Any other questions?
Nothing from the state judge.
Very good. Sir, if you could please stand down just very, very briefly and exit the courtroom. Don't go very far. This will be just a second. Mr. Gladden, this is your burden, is it not?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Very briefly, do you want to make an argument? You don't have to.
Judge, I think Mr. Edwards has testified that he's not aware of anything that would be a Garrity statement made by Mr. Oliver.
Okay.
And that the source of his testimony is what he saw, and based on cross-examination, at the very most, the name of Officer Gross is Officer Gross, which is independent of any sort of Garrity statement. I think everyone in this room knows Officer Gross's name.
All right. Is there anything else?
No, Judge.
Mr. Gill or Mr. Brissett? Do you have any arguments that you want to make? I want to give you an opportunity to be heard.
Exactly what point, Judge?
Whether or not this witness has any statements that you wish to suppress or that you feel like would be given, or evidence that would be given in violation of Garrity, the whole reason why we had this hearing.
That's one part of the inquiry the court needs to make in a Castigar hearing.
Yes, sir.
The other part of the inquiry is, what does the district attorney know who's questioning this? Because they've had access to that Garrity statement also.
All right.
So we're only addressing half the issue here. And I don't know of anything to on the hearing statement,
Okay.
but I don't know what all came from the DA's office either, who had access to the hearing statement.
Well, they're going to dispute the exact nature of their knowledge, their understanding or access to the Garrity information, but I'm unwilling to do all that at this point. You can certainly testify based on his personal knowledge. If Mr. Lenore have the witness back in. Sheriff, call the jury, please.
And I also need to add that we haven't had a chance to develop our side of the evidence that we believe the court needs to make a Garrity, or a cast a dollar or Garrity rule.
All right. Well, I'll give you that opportunity coming up shortly. Just not with this witness. Go ahead, Sheriff. Or do you want me?
No, I can get it.
They're on the way. You good? Oh, well, that'd be all right, too. You need to stand up?
Yes.
You need to take a quick break?
No. Not for all those people, I'm sure not.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not 12. 50 people over there.
Go ahead, Sheriff.
All rise.
Thank you, Sheriff. You all may be seated. Sir, if you could please, before you have a seat, raise your right hand for me in front of the jury. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? Yes, sir. All right, please have a seat. As you sit down, I'll tell you to be responding to questions from Mr. Snipes or perhaps Mr. Gill to your left. Mr. Snipes, this is your witness. You may proceed when ready.
Please state your full name and spell what your first and last name for the record.
Kevon Edwards, Kevon Edwards.
Make sure you answer loud enough for the court before we take that. We're on the same, okay? And, come on, what is your relationship to Vidal Allen?
That's my brother, stepbrother. Yes, sir.
Vidal Allen.
Yes, sir.
How about you and Jordan?
That's my brother.
All three of you close?
Yes, sir.
I want to take you to April 29, 2017, Saturday night. Did you go to a party at 12304 Barron Drive?
Yes, sir.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how that came about. How did you decide to go?
My brothers and my friends, we all got together and we talked about going to the party.
Which brother?
Vidal and Jordan.
And why did y'all want to go to this party?
Because wasn't nothing else to do.
And did you get permission from your dad to go?
Yes, sir.
Who got permission from your dad to go?
Vidal.
And did your dad give you instructions on how you should behave there?
Yes, sir. Respect everybody and be home by 12.
How old are you, young man?
18?
Are you going to be a senior this year?
Yes, sir.
Where do you go to school?
Mesquite High School.
Ski? And are you planning to go to college?
Yes, sir.
Where are you planning to go?
Texas A&M.
That was Texas A&M?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever see any Instagram or Snapchat type of advertisements for this party?
Yes, sir.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen jury about that.
I saw the advertisement on Instagram. He drove. Yes, sir.
He was driving.
Yes, sir.
Who all was in the car?
Me, Vidal, Jordan, Maxwell, and Maximus.
Maxwell and Maximus. Who are they?
My friends.
Are they twin brothers?
Yes, sir.
What time did y'all go?
About 9.
Did you do anything on the way to the party?
No, sir. Well, we went to the store
For what?
to get some snacks and some gum.
And who went into the store?
Me, Maximus, and Vidal. I mean, not Vidal. Jordan and Maxwell.
Tell me what happened when you got to the party.
We walked in. They took our money.
They took your money?
Yes, sir. At the door. So we had to pay.
Did you get anything in exchange for that $2?
No, sir.
Wasn't anything there, was it? Wasn't anything there, was it?
No, sir.
Where did y'all park?
By the stop sign at the beginning of the street.
In the Baron?
Yes, sir.
Which way were you facing?
Toward the party, toward the house.
Toward the party. All right. So tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about what that party was like when you first got in.
Everybody was dancing and loud music,
What kind of music?
rap music.
Anybody arguing or fussing and fighting?
No, sir.
You having a good time?
Yes, sir.
Was everybody else having a good time?
Yes, sir.
Where were you at the party?
I was in the middle, like in the living room, like in the middle of everybody.
In the house?
Yes, sir.
You didn't go outside?
At one point I did.
Did there come a time that the police came to the party?
Yes, sir.
How'd you know it was the police?
I heard the sirens and the lights. I seen the lights.
What did you do when you saw that?
I started jumping the gate to get to the car.
Okay. Did you do the same thing your brother did
Yes, sir.
as far as leaving?
Yes, sir.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about that.
We went to the backyard where he showed me like where we're gonna go if anything happened. So we jumped the gates to get to the car.
Who was with you?
It was me, Vidal, and Quincy.
Quincy White.
Yes, sir.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how you got to the back of the house, back into your Chevrolet Impala.
I jumped the fences. It was 2 fences, and then the car was right there at the end of the street, so we got right there.
And eventually, who all tried to get into that car with you?
Gary, Landre, and that's about it.
But who eventually did get into the car? Same five that came over?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear a loud noise behind you after you got into the car?
Yes, sir.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about that.
By the nursing home, it was gunshots, like 3 sets of gunshots.
Were all five of you in the car when that happened?
Yes, sir.
What happened after that?
We started backing up into the street so we can go
Why'd you have to back up?
because the police were blocking the street, like by the house, so we couldn't go that way. So we could only go back.
Were y'all driving fast or slow?
Slow.
And you saw your brother driving that car, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you have an opinion as to whether at any time he was trying to drive over any police officers?
No, sir. He was driving too slow.
Did you hear anybody telling you guys to stop your car?
No, sir.
Did any of you ever tell Vidal to drive off down to the south?
No, sir.
Did you hear any shots?
Yes, sir.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about that.
The second set of shots, it was into the car, and it came from a police officer.
How do you know it was a police officer?
Because afterwards, they started coming.
At the time that the shots were fired, did you know there were police officers?
Yes, sir.
Were you in fear for your life?
Yes, sir.
Scared to death?
Yes, sir.
How about your ears? Were they ringing or not?
That was ringing.
Where'd y'all do then?
Then we drove down, I think it's, shit. Well, we drove down the street.
Down Shepherd.
Yes, sir.
And then did you make a right turn?
Yes, sir.
What road was that?
Shepherd.
No, you were already on Shepherd.
Well,
You do you know the name of the road where y'all got pulled out of the car?
No, sir.
But eventually, did you figure out that Jordan had been shot?
Yes, sir.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about that.
I noticed that he was leaning over on the center console, and when we tapped him, he didn't respond.
How'd you feel about that?
I was heartbroken.
Did you see blood?
Yes, sir.
Did you guys eventually flag over a police car to help him?
Yes, sir.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about that.
We was trying to get help, so we started asking for help at the car, but couldn't do nothing
Why were you wanting help?
because my brother was leaning and we didn't know what to do.
After a few minutes, did you get pulled out of your car?
Yes, sir.
Before I forget to ask you this, did y'all have any guns in that car?
No, sir.
Do you know how to shoot a gun?
No, sir.
Did Jordan shoot a gun that night?
No, sir.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about getting pulled out of the car.
First it was Vidal, and then it was Maxwell. Then Maxwell was also the last one to get out the car. And then when we got out the car, we had to put our hands up, and a whole lot of guns pointing at us
How do you know it was the police that shot at your car?
because I saw the badges.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear Jordan say anything right before the shots?
Yeah, he told us to duck.
Told you to duck.
Yes, sir.
Duck, get down.
Yes, sir.
Did you do that?
Yes, sir.
Go past with.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You testified earlier that you're 18 years old, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Back in, well, do you have a driver's license now?
I got a permit.
You got a permit.
Yes, sir.
And you probably, back in April of 2017 when this happened, you probably didn't have your permit yet, did you?
No, sir.
Vidal had a driver's license.
Yes, sir.
So Vidal, that's why Vidal was driving that night.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And he was driving your dad's car.
Yes, sir.
Now, while you were at the party, were there some guys there that looked like they didn't quite belong, that you mentioned earlier?
Yes, sir.
What
It was only one.
One?
Yes, sir.
Do you know who that was?
No, sir.
Where did you see him?
At the back, at the back of the house, leaning on the wall.
Why did he look like he didn't belong there?
He wasn't doing nothing. He was just hugging the wall, and like he was hugging the wall, like he stayed against it.
Was he the same age as everybody else there?
I'm not sure.
Did he look like he was the same age as everybody there?
Yes, sir.
He didn't stand out because of his age, did he?
No, sir.
All right, so you testified at some point the police came, right?
Yes, sir.
And you were in the backyard, so you hopped some fences and ran around to where you knew that you'd find the car you guys came in, right?
Yes, sir.
You guys had stopped at the convenience store on your way to the party.
Yes, sir.
And at that point is when you got the gum or the breath mints or whatever it was that you all needed for the party, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you give an interview to some Dallas County Sheriff's officers not long after this happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In fact, it was just a few hours afterwards, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And I think, was your mom in there with you also?
Yes, sir.
And you sat down and you talked to those officers because you wanted to help them learn what had happened out there.
Yes, sir.
And you wanted to be as honest as you could be with them, right?
Yes, sir.
And since that time, well, let me ask you this: before that point, before you sat down with those Dallas County Sheriff's officers, had you ever met any of the people over here at this table to my left?
No, sir.
After that time, have you met these folks over here?
Yes, sir.
And approximately on approximately how many occasions have you met with them to discuss your testimony here today?
Like 7 times.
And were some of those meetings before you testified in front of the Dallas County grand jury?
Once.
And so a number of meetings have occurred since between the time of the grand jury and today?
Yes, sir.
And when you meet with them, how many people are there?
Probably like 3 or 4.
Does somebody take notes?
Yes, sir.
And did any of the sheriff's officers, just a couple of hours after this happened, did anyone ask you to write out what you saw and heard in writing?
No, sir.
So they sat down and interviewed you kind of like you and I are talking here today, right?
Yes, sir.
And you know that interview was video recorded, right?
Yes, sir.
And during that interview, you explained to the investigators from the sheriff's office that as you were leaving the party, you all got in the car out by Barron and Shepherd, right?
Yes, sir.
And you heard a gunshot or gunshots.
Gunshots.
How many did you hear?
Like 5.
And where did they come from?
The outside of the car.
Do you know which side of the car they came from?
On the right side.
So the car was facing towards the house where the party was, right?
Yes, sir.
And if I represented to you that would have been facing west, the gunshots came from the north of the car off to the right?
No, sir.
Where did they come from?
The east.
Okay. So to the right of the car, or behind the car, or to the left of the car?
To the right of the car.
Okay. As you, was it after you heard those gunshots? Let me ask you this, what happened when you heard the gunshots?
We decided to go. Well, yeah. We decided to go
Why?
because it was time to go. We heard gunshots.
Did the fact that you heard gunshots concern you?
Yes, sir.
In what way?
I didn't know what was going on.
But the police were already there, right?
Yes, sir.
And you could see from your position in the car, you could see the flashing lights of a police car.
Yes, sir.
Did it make you feel a little bit better that the police were there and the police could take care of that situation?
I wasn't worried about it.
You were worried about it.
No, sir.
So you guys got ready and you decided you wanted to leave. Did you immediately back up? Did you have to go forward? What happened next?
We had to go forward a little bit, and then we backed up.
How far did you go forward?
Probably like 4 feet.
And then after you drove 4 feet forward, I guess you realized you weren't going to make it down that street
Yes, sir.
because the police cars were there.
Yes, sir.
Did you see one police car or two?
I saw one.
And Vidal was driving,
Yes, sir.
and did Vidal then start backing the car up?
I went forward first. Then
So he went forward. At some point, did he stop going forward?
yes, sir.
And when he stopped going forward, which direction did he go?
Backwards.
Was he going backwards fast or slow?
Slow.
So was he driving backwards towards the direction of Shepherd Drive?
Yes, sir.
How long did it take him to back up onto Shepherd Drive?
A few seconds.
While he was doing that, did you hear any voices from outside the car?
No, sir.
Were the windows in the car all up or were some of them down?
That was all up.
As you got out on Shepherd Drive, did you see or hear anything out there?
No, sir.
Did you tell the investigators from the Dallas County Sheriff's Office that when you reversed the car, there was an officer on the corner?
No, sir.
You didn't tell them that?
No, sir.
Did you tell them that as you reversed the car, there was an officer in front of the car on the grass?
No, sir.
Did you tell them that when you got the car out onto the street, that you only saw one officer?
Yes, sir.
So when the car was out on, was it when the car was out on Shepherd Drive, you saw one officer?
When I started pulling forward to go forward, that's when I saw him on the side.
And you told the officers from the sheriff's department that the officer that you saw was in the grass, is that right?
Yes.
You told the officers from the sheriff's department that you didn't see a sidewalk over there.
No, sir.
The officer was in the grass.
Yes, sir.
You told those investigators from the sheriff's department that that officer was 5 feet in front of the car. Is that right?
No, sir.
And you told those investigators from the sheriff's department at that time, just a few hours after this happened, that you drove towards the officer.
No, sir.
And you again told the investigators that the officer was in the grass, not in the street. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you told them again that you only saw one officer.
Yes, sir.
You told them that the officer was flashing the light. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
While all this was going on, the people in the car were telling Vidal to put the car in park, weren't you?
Who was telling him to stop?
Sorry?
Who was telling him to stop?
You're telling him to stop. You didn't tell him to put it in park,
No, sir.
but you told him to stop.
Yes, sir.
Stop the car.
Yes, sir.
Tell this jury exactly what you were saying.
I said stop the car.
Did you just say stop the car, or did you yell at it?
I just told him to stop the car.
You whispered it, kind of like you're whispering here today?
No, sir.
You said it loud?
Yes, sir.
Say it as loud to this jury as you said it to Vidal.
Stop the car.
Did anyone else in the car tell him to stop the car, or tell him to put it in park?
Yes, sir.
Who?
Maximus.
And you and Maximus and Maxwell were in the back seat, right?
Yes, sir.
So was it 2 out of the 3 backseat passengers, or was it all 3 that were telling Vidal to stop the car?
No, sir.
2 of you?
Yes, sir.
You and which twin?
Maximus.
Maximus. Was Maximus on your right side or on your left side?
My right side.
And you were in the middle of the back seat, right?
Yes, sir.
So the middle back seat passenger and the passenger in the right rear, Maximus, were both telling Vidal to stop the car.
Yes, sir.
And why were you telling him to stop the car?
Because we know what happened.
Because you heard an officer telling you and Vidal and everyone in that car to stop that car. Is that right?
No, sir.
We passed the witness.
Nothing wrong.
May this witness be finally excused?
For the sake of this, subject to recall.
Very good. Sir, you may stand down for right now. Please be careful on your way down.
We might have instructed on the witness.
All right, very good. And Mr. Edwards, there's a rule that talks about, and sorry, I lost my train of thought. Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody else. You're not allowed to be in the courtroom for the duration of the trial, all right? Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Call Jeremy C., same drill.
All right. Members of the jury, let me see Mr. Snipes and whoever else, Mr. Gill, Mr. Brissett. If I could please have everybody be seated. Members of the jury, this is a good stopping point today for you all. We're going to continue working on some things that I need to resolve to make your time perhaps more efficient tomorrow. I do want to give you some instructions as you leave today. You're going to follow the same drill tomorrow morning the way that you arrived here as you did today, okay? I don't want you to tell anybody what that is, but it's going to be the same drill. I've talked to you before. I know that you all have kept my instructions every time I've given them, but I'm going to give them to you again. You've now heard about different locations. I'm not sure where you live or where you might go over the next until tomorrow morning, but if you happen to be around anywhere that that you might have heard about today, please stay away from it. Please don't talk with anybody at all about what you've heard or seen in court today, period. Without exception, not even among yourselves. I don't want you to do any independent research. Please don't look anything up on your phone or your laptop or the internet or anything else. You all have been very attentive, and I do appreciate that. If you would please keep my instructions in mind as you leave, and I'll see everybody tomorrow morning, just like we did. And actually, we'll keep the same timeline. You all do exactly what you did today. All rise for the jurors. Court's in recess.